Okay, we just highlighted a leader in the UK. We're now highlighting one in the US. Former US Commissioner for International Religious Freedom, Johnnie Moore, has now raised alarm over the escalating threats to minorities in Bangladesh. He's also been described in the past as the incoming President Donald Trump's spiritual advisor. He said the situation in Bangladesh is an existential threat, not just to the affected communities, but to the nation itself. Now, in just a second from now, we'll have our reporter, our colleague Siddhant, join us again. But first, take a look at what it is that he had to say.
Human rights organizations and religious freedom organizations ought to be raising their voices every second, right now, related to this high-profile case. Unfortunately, I think that a lot of times the Hindu community, when they are persecuted around the world, unfortunately, fewer people speak up about it. Well, I'm committing to doing the exact opposite. And I'm calling for the world's human rights and religious freedom organizations to do the same. When Muhammad Yunus came in as the interim leader of the country, he made promises related to democracy, the rule of law, all of these values that are cherished by the West and our international institutions. This is a moment of existential threat, not only for the minorities of Bangladesh, but for the entire country. And it is a call to advocates for human rights and religious freedom to speak up.
Okay, let's go over to our colleague Siddhant to understand a little bit more. Siddhant, earlier Donald Trump, now we're seeing this comment, and seemingly we will perhaps see a US government that is more vocal on these issues. How do you see it?
Well, absolutely. Look, government the upcoming government of regime of United States is very much concerned about the condition of Hindus in Bangladesh. In fact, in the run-up to the elections, also Donald Trump did speak on that issue. He did a social media post talking about the attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh, and perhaps once this regime will take over in January, they would get the first-hand information through the government machinery, and in fact, they will get to know exactly what is happening in Bangladesh. And India also expects United States to perhaps intervene or talk about the attacks on Hindus, because United States is one country which comes up with a human rights violation report every year, for each and every country across the world. So perhaps maybe the State Department would be more sensitive to what is happening to Hindu community and the other minorities in Bangladesh once Trump will take over as the president of United States. In fact, Toya, when Prime Minister Modi spoke to President Biden, in fact, that time also he did take up the issue of the Hindus and minorities being attacked in Bangladesh. But this particular regime of Donald Trump, perhaps, of President Biden, I beg your pardon, is seen as close to Muhammad Yunus. In fact, Muhammad Yunus got a red carpet welcome also when he went to United States for UNGA last month. So, this regime is less vocal and has not been, condemning what is happening against the Hindu community and minorities in Bangladesh. But we could expect that once the U.S. President Donald Trump will take over as the president, we could expect the State Department to be more sensitive and to give focus.
We'll just come to you in a second.